And we are here in Montreal with, of course, Billy Sheehan of Sons of Apollo.
Yes.
Isn't that nice to say, by the way, Sons of Apollo? Because you've been with all these other bands, and now you've got this new brand, this new
Pretty
band.
cool, pretty cool. And this run has been just spectacular. We're very, very grateful. People have been just coming out in droves and been so kind to us. So we're really pleased about that.
And the sound was absolutely spectacular tonight.
We got a great front of house, an amazing crew, and they make it all happen somehow under conditions you wouldn't believe.
So talk to me about your involvement in this, because, you are a stalwart. You've been doing this for 30, 40 years.
50.
50. So talk to me about wanting to get involved with a new band. Why not just be one of those guys that does the Ringo Starr All-Star Band and just fade into the, just...
I love to play.
Yeah?
I play. I love to be out. I love to be performing. Mike and I worked together with the Winery Dogs when he put this together. He said,
Right.
"You want to do it?" I said, "Yeah." So, plus we did PSMS,
Right.
Mike, Portnoy, Sherinian, McAlpine, and Sheehan. And so that was kind of a precursor to this. They brought Ron Bumblefoot Thal in. He's just been great.
Great.
He also sings his ass off, too, so that's cool.
That helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, it sort of, when the first album came out, it sort of felt like, well, okay, it's a bit of a side project while Winery Dogs aren't doing something and Mr. Big's not doing something and Ron's not, in Guns N' Roses anymore. And yet now it's developed into this band. First show in Montreal was 400 or 500 people. Tonight, sold out. You couldn't fit another soul in here.
No, you have to cut them up and stick them in pieces to get them in here.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was that crowded.
Yeah, so talk to me about that progression and the band now establishing itself as an actual...
Well, from the get-go, we didn't want it to be a side project. We wanted to have it be a thing that we can all go to.
Right.
When as you know, almost every band member now, unless they're in some huge, giant, mega stadium act, even those guys are in a bunch of different bands.
Right.
Billy Gibbons has a side project, and he doesn't need it. he's the king with ZZ Top. So, but it's nice to do that. I think in a way, as players, you get out of your comfort zone and get into something a little different, and you grow as a player, as a musician. Your vocabulary increases, and there's challenges that you normally wouldn't get
Right.
in the bands that you have for a long, long time. So it works out really well. I enjoy it because there's a lot of things I do in this band that aren't my normal thing.
Right.
Just lay there and hang on these big ass giant low notes and hold the whole thing together and let other people do his thing. And I like that because it's a different discipline than what I normally do.
Right.
So it's good for me. Then when I get back to what I normally do, it's colored a little differently now. So I'm always trying to grow as a player. So this has been wonderful for me.
It really has been. So talk to me a bit about the new album 2020. It is a progression in sound, and it's also sort of establishing the sound. You are Sons of Apollo. You're not just the super group or just some prog thing. This is the Sons of Apollo sound.
Yeah, there's a lot of keyboards, so there's a lot of low frequencies on the keyboard. So
Right.
I'm playing a low tune bass. It's like the last four strings of a 5 or 6 string bass.
Right.
The notes BEAD, so super low. So I can't do a lot of fancy schmancy stuff on that because first of all, it's kind of inaudible because it's so low, and second of all, the strings are about as big around as clothesline, so it's this giant thing. So that's kind of a cool thing for me. So now I have to work with the keyboards.
Right.
And keyboards aren't fretboards; they're different, and they make different lines, and sometimes they don't make any sense on fretboard at all. So there's been a couple of lines that I really had to dig in and try and just invent a way to play that because it doesn't really fit with fingers and frets.
Right.
And again, that was really a great exercise in, okay, here's a problem, solve it. Okay, I gotta think of something.
But isn't it great 50 years in, you're still discovering stuff and there's still
Always.
a passion? I mean...
Every day I learn something new.
I just talked to Don Brewer of Grand Funk Railroad, and they haven't done new music since '83, and it's like,
Genius drummer. I was a
Of
huge
course.
Grand Funk fan.
but how do you not have new music since 1980? Like, how do you get on a stage and go, okay, we're gonna play this again? Right? It's
Well, unfortunately, I'm. If you look out in a bar and they're playing music nobody ever heard, and suddenly you hear,
Right.
and the whole place, we know this song. So people want to hear things they know, and they
Right.
there's a very slow process to listen to a song once, 2 times, 5 times, 10 times, and it suddenly starts to become part of you, and you get into it like that. So I can see how legacy acts, we'll call them. I hope
Right.
nobody's offended by that.
Should be.
They want to be.
It's nice to have a legacy.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Grand Funk. I want to hear Limousine Driver and Paranoid and
American Band, I should say.
all that stuff. That's the later stuff. But
Okay, but talk to me about then for you. Why do this new music? Why not just get a couple of guys or Jeff and go, hey, let's go do Eat 'Em and Smile in some club somewhere. You could pack it in.
Yeah,
They'd want to hear him sing Yankee Rose.
Yeah,
Why
but-
bother?
Well, I think again, it's a growth thing. You
Okay.
try to grow as a player, as a musician, and I love my past. I still love playing "To Be With You."
Yeah.
I still love all the stuff that I've played in the past. I would never abandon it. It's important to me, but I also do like once in a while to it's funny. We're playing stuff from the first record now, and it's kind of already sunk in. So we go into the song and people
Right.
recognize it. So. That's kind of a mini legacy because we're on the second record now, and the third record that we'll be going back to this one, and they'll be going, oh yeah, So
Yeah, I know.
It's just
I know
it's
these
kind of a
songs.
psychological process that happens as you listen to stuff, and everyone that's listening to this knows when you hear something you're familiar with and you love, it touches you in a certain way. Now let me play you a brand new song you've never heard before. Okay, sometimes in the mood for that, I can deal with
But
that.
prog fans seem to accept that more than like
I
a
think
rock
so.
fan.
Exactly right.
Classic rock fans, when Whitesnake comes out and says we got a new one, they go, right.
Play the hits. Taking care of business.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, so let me talk about a
That
couple.
was a Simpsons episode, isn't it?
Yeah, let me talk about a couple of the old bands real quick. Mr. Big, of course, huge in Japan, and other markets had a great impact. But talk to me about being specifically huge in one market, and what do you think just touches that continent or Japan for Mr. Big? It's kind of peculiar, right?
No, in fact, I get more email from Indonesia than anywhere,
Wow.
and Thailand and South Korea, Malaysia, Singapore, Germany was huge for us. Scandinavia, France, Italy. There's about 3 or 4 Mr. Big copy bands in Italy alone. So a lot of times people focus on the Japan thing.
Right.
We do great in Japan. It's been fantastic. I remember when grunge took over and Pearl Jam was huge. Mr. Big outsold Pearl Jam 40-1 in Japan. That was the actual statistic.
Wow.
Because they didn't get why people would, they didn't quite get the grunge thing. So we were over there.
I
and
still
playing.
don't.
But Japan is kind of an interesting monoculture within there. And from the beginning, we went in there and we got there early, stayed late, shook every hand. I answered before internet, I answered every letter by hand. Mm-hmm. And we worked hard to make that happen. So it wasn't like just some oddball automatic quirk. We took care of everybody as best we could.
And I was going to say, I think that's how we met. I think I saw your email like in Metal Edge, and I think we just started corresponding.
Oh, it could be. It could very
I
well.
think that's how it started,
Yeah.
in that Metal Edge new emails for the Rockstar section. In terms of Mr. Big, is there anything that can go on with it now? Or?
We don't know. I love the band and the guys in it. We're all good friends. Mm-hmm. We were crushed when we lost Pat, and
Pat
we
was
went
just
out
amazing
with another drummer, with Matt Starr, and he did great. We finished off the shows we already had booked,
Right.
But it ain't the same. Matt's a great player. I mean,
Right, this is no disrespect to
the
Mac.
greatest
I
drummer in the
love
world,
Mac.
but you got to do what Pat did in a way of his finesse, and there's it's like your fingerprint or your DNA. It's hard to really duplicate that. So we don't know. I'd love to play together again someday in some capacity. Maybe just me, Paul, and Eric go out and
do a tribute
sit
show
down
or something. Who knows?
And play the hits.
Play the hits. Why not? That's what
Prince
fans.
in it, To Be With You, just like my heart.
That's what fans want. On the weekend, I had a chance to see David Lee Roth opening for Kiss. First of all, what do you think of him doing that slot? I think it's amazing that he's opening.
I don't know. I just Dave will always be my hero. I always have supreme respect for him.
Yep.
I love him dearly, and I wish him nothing but the absolute best.
Yeah.
And Dave is his own man. He does his own thing. That's why he's Dave. He does. He's got his way of doing things. God bless him. So I saw some of the video from the very first show. Unfortunately.
Or the Vegas ones.
Yeah, people were pretty rough on him.
People are rough all the time.
Yeah.
That's the internet. Which
Just
is
go on Blabbermouth if you If you really
Yeah.
just have Blabbermouth do an article on you, and then just reap the hell from no matter what.
Yeah.
You cannot win on that.
No, you can't win on that site, especially on the Facebook page. But, Dave's not doing any Eat 'Em and Smile songs on this tour for whatever reason. There's been a suggestion that maybe he's holding off to do it later with the band members.
Have no idea.
Have no idea.
I had dinner with Steve. We always have an after NAMM dinner with a bunch of friends, and we wish him well. We wish him well. We haven't heard from him. We first did that almost show that happened at
Right.
the Jam in Hollywood. Afterwards,
And then
Dave
the
spoke.
fire marshal said you can't bring people in or whatever it was.
No, it was way too crowded. It's
Probably a good thing then.
legal is 600. They must have 1,200 in there. So if it would have been a problem, somebody would have got hurt bad. So they did the right thing. But me, Dave, Steve, Brett, and Greg hung out afterwards. They had a great hang. And Dave said to us, if you want to play, I'll do it. I'm ready to go. But then we never heard from him again. So who knows? But like I said, I love Dave. I love everybody in Van Halen. And I wish him well, and who knows what tomorrow may bring. But I'm not like secretly hiding some secret information. No. People are writing to me, hey, Dave's playing in Buffalo, you're going to jump up on stage. It doesn't work like that, bro. Then you're going to fly in, get a hotel, transport. They don't jump up. It doesn't work that way.
No jump. No jump here.
No jumping up.
And I'll finish with this. In terms of your career going forward, do you want to sort of just do Winery Dog, Sons of Apollo, or is there still more solo records? Is there still other challenges, other bands?
Oh, yeah. I'm working on a solo record with Ray Lugier, bass and drums.
Yes.
The drummer
my
from
favorite.
Korn, one of my dear friends. I'm going to do a new Talus record.
Oh, that's right.
Talus did a deal, and we're going to start the day after this tour ends. I go to Rochester to start recording that. That's going to be a blast. We're going to bring as many old guys that we can into the mix, and it's going to be a blast.
Phil Nero's going to be there.
Yeah, it's Phil Nero, Mark Miller, myself. We have a great guitar player named Kiri out of Rochester. But we're going to invite Mitch Perry to come in and Johnny Angel to come in. And Jeff Scott Soto even offered to sing some harmonizer stuff because he was out with us on the Talus Ingve tour of '85. Which we started together with. So we're just going to have a blast and do our songs that were never really recorded in the studio. With some of them are on the live album, but we do the proper version.
Any of those going to be touring entities, or are they just really studio entities?
No, we're going to play. We already did. We did a bunch of shows with that version of Talus, and as the time allows, and it's a zero drama situation. It's just fun and cool and no pressure, and everybody has a great time. So anytime we get a chance to get together and play, we will take it.
That's great, Billy. Always a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming out, and I'm glad you were here for the show as well.
Absolutely. Love it. Every time.
Thank you, bro.
Merci. Thank you.
Okay.